Metal Fourth by Baby Metal. We are finally here at the final song of the album. It is White Flame. I appreciate the fact, by the way, they've written it in English, but they've also written it in Japanese with the kanji White Flame. It's really cool. I'm excited about this because, well, it's the final Baby Metal song we're going to get to listen to for a while. I can't believe how fast we've got through this track by track listen to Metal Fourth. Of course, songs like Metali and a lot of the opening songs of the album we'd already heard. We've been spoilt over the previous months by having Baby Metal songs coming out, and it means that now we got the album. There's less to listen to, but still, here we are. It's the last one we get to listen to for a while. It's going to be a while till we have another Baby Metal song, but the good thing is it's the final song on the album. And why is that a good thing? Because final songs on Baby Metal albums tends to be pretty exciting stuff. This is a band who have some great closing songs. I mean, obviously, the last album we had The Legend, which I thought was a really great closing track, maybe a little bit underrated. And yes, the last album, the other one was an album. Don't argue. It was a list of songs. It was long enough. It was an album. I don't care what the excuse is. It was an album. Then before that, we had, I think, Arcadia was the last track on Metal Galaxy. That was a pretty good song, but again, big and anthemic in a slightly different way, but still big and anthemic. And then before that, on Metal Resistance, we had The One, which is a big fan favorite. I got to be honest, I was never wild about that song, but obviously a big fan favorite. And then I have to do my research here. Was Metal Resistance the last track on the debut album? I know there's a lot of special editions, so maybe I'm just getting confused. Or maybe you're all typing angry comments because I'm completely wrong with that. I feel like Metal Resistance was the last song on the debut album. That is a pretty high watermark. That's a hard one to beat. But, if you take away that, and look at the last three albums, I feel like The One, Arcadia, The Legend, I feel like they've been ramping up. So I'm excited about this. Also, White Flame being one of only 3 songs on this album that are just Baby Metal. Kawaii, Algorithm, and now White Flame. Yeah, I'm excited. So let's jump in. I'm expecting something big and melodic and powerful as like our final end of the album. 4.5 minutes of it. Let's dive in, give it a listen. I'm excited to check this out. As I say, last Baby Metal song for a while. Let's enjoy it. Hopefully let's get ready to sing along. Okay. Sorry, is this fake? It sounds more like Love Bites right now. I'm loving the call and answer and the vocals. Oh, building up. Oh, loving the build up in the melody as well. It's almost got a bit of a sea shanty vibe right now. Power metal sea shanty. Oh, okay. Chorus. Oh, that's the sing-along. With that keyboard thing going in the background. Little arpeggio, that was pretty cool. Oh yeah, this is definitely reminding me of like power metal and Love Bites and stuff. The energy of this is relentless. I'm loving how breathless this is. Oh, and the build-up as well. Okay, come on, punch into the end. Sorry, tell me I'm wrong about the reference. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Okay, we got back to the verse. Again, that's a very Love Bite script. Oh, okay. Are we building up to a big theatrical crescendo? I hope so. This is cool. Oh, I kind of wanted more of that orchestration of the strings. I want that big swell of sound at the ending. There we go. Yeah. All those backing sounds, all those strings. I like this. This is the way you end it out. This is cool. This is the way you end the baby that way. That's nice. Big man. That's really cool. Oh, that ending goes on forever. Wait, okay, that is exactly how you... Do you know, this is the whole thing. When you got a band like this who are basically their whole image and everything is big and theatric, end the album theatrically. That was brilliant. It was so over the top, but it really, really worked. I got to turn the air conditioning because I'm boiling. I don't know if it's just because there's so much energy in that song. I was going to say, if you're going to end an album, there's two ways you can end an album. You can even end an album like sort of a song like The One or The Legend, which is makes you sing along, it's rousing, and everyone's, oh, it's over now. Or you can leave people with something just as big, just as grand, but by the end of the album, they're like, I'm out of breath. It's that kind of ending. I think if you can end an album with people breathless and kind of like, you know, either needing hospitalization or desperate to go back round to the beginning and listen to it again, it's like a roller coaster ride. That is the way to end an album. This is really cool. Now, I obviously, as usual, I say I'm always honest on this channel, and I'm going to address the two schools of thought because obviously there's a frame of reference that comes up in my mind. Well, there's two frames of references that I kind of almost feel like I need to judge this song based on because I feel like there's two things inspiring or motivating it. One, of course, is, as I mentioned, the big, grand tradition of sing-along, anthemic, final baby metal songs that end albums. And the other one is that clearly it's referencing this sound that, and apologies, I know a lot of bands do it. I'm kind of referencing the Love Bites sound, because I know Love Bites are a very prominent and popular band with a lot of overseas people. Funny thing is, we were looking at their statistics, and it's like, I think we were looking at, it's like, Baby Metal have like 10 times as many subscribers and monthly listeners as Bandmade, and Bandmade have like about 10 times as many monthly listeners and subscribers as Love Bites. So Love Bites is kind of like 1% the size of Baby Metal in most metrics. But I know a lot of fans really love Love Bites. And of course you've got other bands like Hagane, Full Moon, obviously Unlucky Morpheus doing this kind of stuff as well. But I think the Love Bites reference is really interesting for this. Now, the genre that I'm thinking of that this is referencing is that kind of, and again, I've heard people use so many different names for it, so I'm just going to use my own terminology from what I've gathered. People refer to it as like speed metal or power metal, that kind of thing where it's like, it's all double time, it's all super fast, but it's got this big, melodic, sort of anthemic vibe over the top. I think this actually worked really well for Baby Metal. I think, again, it fits in very much with their tradition of final songs being big and anthemic, but also that idea of having it double time. There isn't a huge amount of that on this album, so it nicely switches things up for the last song, gives you that final aggressive high-speed punch. It really works. I love the call and answer between the vocals. It was obviously primarily Sue, but I get the feeling that you got to hear a bit of Mara and Momoko really adding a bit of colour and depth to the vocal performance, the vocal layering as well. The song was just grand, but also breathlessly energetic. It did play a lot of the games that you'd expect from those kind of Love Bites-esque bands, which again, I'm going to use Love Bites as the reference, but I know they're not the only band who does that kind of sound, in that you had like those long extended guitar cadences where you think it's just going to be like a couple of bars, but it just keeps on going. And you've got the big sort of solo in the middle where it starts off as a simple solo and then it builds up, and then next thing you know, you've got like dual guitars and everything's kind of arpeggioing its way up. That was great as well. Big credit as well for them doing that nice backing sound. Again, you had the sort of keyboard sounding arpeggio thing going. You had like the what sounded like keyboard strings in the background as well. There was a sense that they were adding a bit more grandeur to the backing, which I guess that sort of feeling of using strings underneath the arrangement and those big arpeggios, that's something that you would associate with both Baby Metal and Love Bites. So yeah, for me, this really was a nice balance of those two things. It wasn't trying to be something so far outside of Baby Metal's wheelhouse that it sounded awkward or like they were trying to be something they were not. It was just very much doing what Baby Metal usually do best, which is like, you know, referencing other styles of metal, you know, recognizing all the different subgenres and types of metals there are and trying it in a way that works for them. And that's what really worked so well here, especially putting it as the last song on the album, because again, that sound that I'm going to refer to as the Love Bite sound is a very anthemic sound. It works perfectly to do that kind of thing at the end of a Baby Metal album. I really thought this was cool. I don't know, my understanding is that Camiban never appear on the albums, and I haven't kept up to date too much with a lot of the background stuff with Baby Metal of recent, because it's all just become kind of convoluted in my opinion. But I think like I think Camiban is not even really kind of used as a thing anymore in Baby Metal. It's like there used to be a Camiban, and there was a Camiban and a Camiban West, and there was I don't even know what's going on with Camiban. But I kind of feel like this was the perfect song where if there is a Camiban, like a proper Camiban still in existence, and I hope they were on this recording, because this sounds like the song that was meant for them all along. This was a ton of fun, though. I think as a final song, this was absolutely great. I did mention the context of the album is really important. I am going to give it maybe a day or two. I'm going to listen to the album a couple more times over in full to really get my whole feeling on the album before I do a review. I always like to, I do these first reactions because I know this is a format that people really wanted me to go back to doing. I really kind of enjoy, and it's very fun and engaging to do. But I do like to give, when I give a full review of an album, I like to really take my time, think about it, and give a proper in-depth review. So I'm going to come back and give this a full in-depth review in some way in the next couple of days or so. But I must say that this was just a ton of fun as a final song. I think that again, I can't remember if Metal Resistance was if Road Resistance was the last song on the first album, which I'm now starting to think it probably wasn't, because Resistance was it on the second? I am so confused. Whatever the song was on the I'm getting messages now. Whatever the final song was the first album, I remember. But if we just kept counting it from the second album and we're going the one, Arcadia, The Legend, White Flame. I think White Flame is an epic closing song. At the current moment, just having listened to it, bit of recency bias maybe. In my feeling, this is the best Baby Metal closer I've heard in a long time, if ever. As always, get in the comments, tell me what you think though. Tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why you're angry at me. Remember to like and subscribe. There's a lot of content. We cover a lot of bands. I really hope that you're getting into Japanese music. I know so many people get into Japanese music through Baby Metal. I hope you're finding more and more bands. That's a big part of what I do is working with upcoming bands, but also reviewing everything in the Japanese music scene in multiple genres and everything. So I hope you subscribe to this channel, or maybe find a little bit more music through me, or share music that you love with me as well. We got the Discord community below, all that stuff. Anyway, I'm just self-advertising, which is not interesting for anyone at this point. So I'm going to wrap it up now. As a great song, I will be coming back to do a full album review once I've had a bit of time to sit and think through it. But this was a cool way to end it. Let me know what you think. And until I hopefully see you very soon in Japan for the next one of these. Catch your breath. Get your breath back. For now. Ciao, ciao.